Hi, this is Krista Anderson, host of Emozen in the Wild podcast. And today we have a guest from Down Under. It's literally our future for Seni met tomorrow. It's 9 a.m. And I want to thank you, first of all, before I even get into that. Thank you for working with me time wise because you have so much invaluable information to share. So, Seni, if you'd like to introduce yourself a little bit
Thank
and
you.
we'll get started. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Seni Mehmet, and I guess meeting you online with the love of our wolves. About me, I think the biggest thing for me at the moment is my journey of rebuilding when it comes to my health and, nervous system regulation, just living a slower, more intentional life. And that's the season I am in at the moment. There's such a backstory of my life and all the things that I've kind of been through. So getting to this point has been quite a ride, but I'm finally, in that destination where
You're fully in the seat and you're going.
I'm
Yeah.
fully in that seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
Yeah.
I love that because yes, our love for wolves. And just I want to briefly acknowledge that is the whole concept of what I do with Emozen is help people resonate with their resonance, elevating their electromagnetic frequency. People talk about EMF a lot, but a lot of people don't realize that we can also enhance our electromagnetic frequency with health and meditation and just sleep, just self-care, right? But getting back to our love for the wolves, that's one of the things I know we wanted to talk about. But what I would like to do is to ask first is if your love for wolves intertwines with your health journey, because I know that started very young. So I want to make sure they kind of go hand in hand, if so, but start chronologically. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think for me, my love for wolves. So I've always been an animal lover, and obviously I love dogs, and I've always loved dogs in general, and I've rescued so many. I've in my lifetime I've rescued 7 dogs myself. Yeah.
That's a lot.
and
Yeah.
and I guess like from that, like just looking at, dogs and the background of dogs and, then going into wolves and just looking into the history of wolves. Even so, if you know a bit about the Turkish history, it's known that we come from wolves. Like a wolf
Ah,
saved us when there was a war
I
at a
didn't know
time,
that.
and
Thank you.
yeah, and that this she wolf had saved us, saved, the last Turkish person, and then created, the Turkish community again. So, like, that's
Wow.
the background. So, they do this. There's this sign where they do this. So, it's like with the, what is it? That one there, actually. It's like in the Turkish community with the wolves. So, it's like a symbol for the wolf in
Wow.
Turkey and in Cyprus. Yeah, because of that background. So, the wolf
Right.
represents such a big thing for us as well.
That's
And
thank you for sharing that. That's a
yeah,
crucial
yeah.
that I would miss. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so then my obsession grew. Like I think I like just kept looking at things about wolves and just how their behavior is, and I just, like really connected with the way the wolf is and the way they live. And I always sort of saw myself as a lone wolf, but then realized that many wolves are alone only because they have no choice, but they're a pack. They're always a pack. They're part of a community, and that's where they're the strongest. So um, I think that was where my love for them grew, and then I just became really obsessed to the point where, I made the decision to go to Norway to a sanctuary there and
Oh, wow.
see the wolves and go in and obviously be around them. So you're able to go in and be with them and spend time with them, and you know, they're all over you and kissing you and
Yes.
doing that. So I got to experience that, because obviously here in Australia we don't have wolves, we just have dingoes, which I've never even encountered in all my time here, because they're not like, you know, they're out more in our, like, up north. So I've never kind
They
of
are
been
the
in that
wild dogs. The
area.
wild dogs of
They
the
are
street.
wild,
Okay,
yeah. And they're more in the farm areas and more in the regional.
I see.
So yeah, I've never encountered a dingo here, but yeah, so we don't have wolves here. So for me, it was like, and I don't go to zoos and all of that because I'm
Right.
against anything like that. So
Fair.
I don't even know if we have any wolves in zoos here, but yeah, that was my only encounter, and I think from that it became like, yeah, just an obsession, and I've just,
It's like your
and then
soul
it
at this point.
and and then it created the alter ego Wolf Woman. So
Okay.
that's where Wolf Woman
It
came
works that
from. And
way, doesn't it?
yes, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I think, yeah, and then at the end, with my medical history, with everything that happened to me, you know, the wolf I ended up getting a wolf tattoo on my stomach, like on my abs area,
So that is connected
because
to your health journey, the wolf tattoo. Okay.
yeah, so the wolf tattoo actually covers some of my scarring,
Oh, okay.
but blends in so well to the way the scarring is from my surgery that it makes the face look 3D. So
Okay.
the tattoo artist that I went to see was amazing, and the way he worked around my scars to actually give that 3D feel and sit in with the way my scars are on my abs. Yeah, it it came alive pretty much. Yeah.
That came alive piece. That's something. And I know this whole conversation is not about wolves, but we're on the topic and it's a very passionate one for both of us.
Yeah.
When the energy of the wolf comes to you, it's powerful. It's you can't ignore it. You know, you just can't. And so when it first came to me, I mean, I've always been an animal lover. It's neither here nor there about would I have loved a wolf. Well, sure, but the personal part, I after both of my children were born, who are now 28 and 31, they were young. Like I think my daughter was still a baby, my son's a toddler. I went to a mandala retreat workshop and we did a
Yes.
meditation. And then we were to call our power animal to us in that meditation as it was guided. And mine was a wolf and it had really bright, shiny
Yeah.
eyes. And she said, and my name is Sasha. I still have that drawing. That's the first time I ever drew anything freehand like that. And then my daughter, I just landed with her. I mean, she was the baby at the time. So as she grew before she went to college, um, she literally intentionally looked around the state of Indiana, which is where I am, for some wolf sanctuaries. And we went to a couple because Purdue
Yeah.
University has a great veterinary school and they do have a wolf sanctuary, but it's not the same as Wolf Creek Habitat, which is the it's a sanctuary, but Purdue is more of a research facility. Wolf Creek Habitat is a sanctuary, and they
Sanctuary.
raise the wolves that are born there by hand. And so they're very used to human beings. And there are
Humans.
three
Yeah.
types of wolves that you can go into. And so I
Yeah.
I was introduced to them 2017. I volunteered for a few years and now I just sponsor wolves and go there, I take clients there. They're
Wow.
so regulating. I do you find them? So I always describe them as being more cat-like than dog-like. Does that
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I mean, um, I guess my experience, like when I went to Norway, when I did experience the way they were, and the other thing is like they're not like dogs. Like they don't have bad breath. If you've noticed, like
Right.
they smell really beautiful, and they
Yes.
don't even have that wet dog or anything. They're just,
It's
yeah,
nothing.
because they were like literally licking in my mouth and like getting
Yes.
so close, and obviously you can't push them away. Like you had to take everything that they would do to you, like whatever, however they were responding to you, which I was fine with. I was like, do whatever,
I'm
I
here.
surrender,
Let you do this.
But yeah, I found that like yes, they just got that real, because even just the way they rub on you and stuff like that, yeah, very similar to a cat. You're right,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, and I
because they
say
do a lot of
that, yes, they do. And I say they're
scent
more cat-like
rolling.
than
Yeah,
dog-like because they don't bark. They like do little howls or yips.
that's right.
And
Yeah,
the energy, I mean, clearly they look more dog-like. They're canines. Okay. I'm not being naive here. I'm just saying the essence of the animal itself. Like for instance, where I go, the wolves, if they don't want to be bothered, they can be lying there next to you, and if you go to touch them, they might pull back, right? If you go to touch them again, they'll get up and move, eyeballing you like, do you see I'm far from you? Please don't follow.
yeah,
And if you get up
yeah,
and
yeah,
follow them again, they might bare their teeth, but they're not going to attack you. Like, I think
yeah.
you're having a hard time listening. Let me show you my fangs and remind you what you're dealing with.
That's right. Yeah,
But
yeah. We had a bit of that happen. Yeah, because
yes,
they do like sometimes when they were sort of going around, and because it was obviously a pack, we went into where it was a pack. They were all siblings.
right?
And they had moments within themselves right in front of me, like they started growling at each other, and obviously one was showing the dominance and showing teeth, and I'm like, wow, I'm like so close to this, but
It wasn't
and the
about you.
lady
Yeah.
the lady was like, that they won't, they just do
Right.
it amongst each other, but that's just normal. Like
Yes.
it's normal play with them, and there's that dominance as well, and but they're not showing like that's not true aggression. And
100.
like I was, yeah, so it was like experiencing right in front of me, and then I was just like, wow, like seeing that side as well. I just thought that's very close, like it's very close to it. But at no point did I feel unsafe. I just
Right.
knew that it was not towards me, or I felt, yeah, in a way. But yes, you can't go and follow them, and you had to stay where you are, and if they came to you, then they came to you, but if they didn't, you just let them do. Yeah.
Again, like cats, right?
Oh yeah, cats are very much like that. Yes,
But
yes,
I was
100%.
just saying that to kind of reiterate my point earlier. And
Yes.
before I move on to the next topic, something interesting about wolves, and people are going to Google this and be like, oh, it's a hoax. It's not true. But I've volunteered around them enough to know I have life experience that it works. If a wolf licks an injury on you, like an open wound, it heals 50% faster,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And I like also that you said, yeah, they don't have bad breath. They don't smell dog.
No,
They don't. They just
they
do
don't.
not.
Yeah,
And so, and I
yeah.
want to bring it back to your wolf tattoo and your health issues. How empowering does it feel to have that tattoo with the energy of
Oh,
that animal
yeah.
over
It's
you had some pretty intense health issues,
Yeah, yeah. So when I was, I guess the having the tattoo there, like I said, it created the alter ego, and it felt very powerful. Like it just also it really put my confidence to another level, because I used to always hide, like I never wore anything short or anything. Like I was always very paranoid about my scars, because like people would stare, they'd wonder what's going on, like from when I was a kid.
right?
And for a long time I always had that insecurity about my scars. And even though, people would say to me, no, they're scars of you being alive. And I would like, I know that, I understand that, but it still felt, like when people would stare, and I just feel so awkward, and like I sometimes would, you know, I would never wear anything where you could see it, or I used to put like, you know, fake tattoos over my scar and just try to hide it, you know, and I think once I got that tattoo, it just gave me this confidence, and you know, I just felt like a different level of woman and power within me. And I think yeah, because when I pretty much had the scar from I was 5 days old when they discovered I had a narrow valve.
Wow.
So, you know, I had a heart surgery from 5 days old. So I've had the scar pretty much from, you know,
From the beginning.
birth, and yeah, from the beginning. And when they operate, when they do an open heart surgery, there's a lot of like tubes that go through through the bottom, like where my abs are. So a lot of the scarring there is all these like little holes from the tubing.
Wow.
Um, and when you look at it, like when you would actually look at it, the way it was, it looked like a face.
Did it?
So yeah, yeah. So from then, because then I had a second heart surgery. So when I was 7, then they found a hole in the heart, and you know, they had to do the same thing. So there was more scarring in the area, and you could see the technology difference from, you know, when I was 5 days old to when I was 7.
I bet it was a big jump, huh?
It was a big jump, yeah, and you could see that difference, and then it like almost completed the face of it looked like there was eyebrows, eyes, nose, and like my
Wow.
belly button was like the mouth. It was just,
Wow.
yeah. So I could understand like people would look at me and be like, what's that on her? Like, as you do, you know, there's curiosity. Like people look, and I always used to feel insecure when I'd be at the beach to wear bikinis or anything. And when I did, sometimes I'd be like, oh, whatever, I'm just, you know, but then the whole day I would have people staring at me, kids staring at me. And yeah, I think getting this tattoo to cover that scarring, yeah, it just
It was life changing.
changed.
Sounds like very
It
empowering.
was
Great.
really life-changing for me. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. It reminds me, are you familiar with Dr. Clarissa Pinkola Estes?
No.
She's written a book titled Women Who Run with the Wolves. And
Oh, yes.
she,
Yes, yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. That's her.
Yeah.
And she's a storyteller and a psychotherapist and just an all-around angel on earth. But she talks about the river under the river and what women, you know, how where like yes, we're functioning up here, but we're paying attention to the river under the river and your wolf tattoo and the essence of what it's done for you emotionally is it's a beautiful story. The
Yeah.
things that women do to empower the things that we women do to empower ourselves. It's often unseen and unspoken, except, oh, tell me about that tattoo. You know, if we
Yeah.
don't ask questions and like you were talking about wolves needing community. Yes, they are not lone wolves. That's a myth. That's one of the myths
Yeah.
of wolves, right? They do belong in a pack. But oftentimes when they are alone, it's a young adolescent male looking for his, as you know, I'm preaching to the choir, but everyone
Yeah.
that's listening, you know, it's often a young male that's looking for his own pack because he's been kicked out of his pack. The thing about wolves also that I think people don't understand is that they parent and do community better than human beings do.
That's right. Yeah.
It's
100%.
that's so
Yeah.
it's so powerful watching them operate and how they care for each other and when they march or they travel the way they're set up in the line. It's
Yes.
I just felt truth bumps from head to toe talking about
Oh,
it.
yeah.
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 Yeah. And I know that your healthcare journey has brought you to a point, because you've been very successful in the corporate sales world, right? And that
Yes.
prompted
Yeah.
a move to Queensland at one point, and then you found this, what you and I have been talking about this, but the amazing
Yeah.
water that you found through that.
Yeah.
Tell me
Yeah. The
about
water path. Yeah. So I guess the move to here for a change of life, sea change. Obviously, we were living in Melbourne, and we were done with the bad weather in Melbourne. We've been there for so long, so we decided to move up to Queensland for a better life, better weather, and when I moved here, I without knowing, I came across an old, like someone from my old job that was in high position, and I ended up working with her. And when we were working together, she ended up resigning, and I was like, what's going on? Why have you resigned? And then she spoke to me about this water path and that she was doing it on the side. And then when she actually fell pregnant, while she was on her maternity leave, she sort of like really focused on the business, where it got to a point for her that she was just able to resign. So
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
she began with this water for her health reasons. So when she moved here, she had started looking for, better drinking water, and like she was looking at shower filters, and came across obviously this water, this business, and because they do shower filters as well. And um when she discovered it, she was a hell yes straight away. She, got the product, was drinking it, same thing, experienced amazing stuff for herself personally, what she experienced, her own testimony. And then when I was like, what's going on? Like, why have you resigned? And she then mentioned to me, I started doing this on the side, and I discovered this amazing water. And I was like, okay, I'm going to come and see you and see what this is about. We spoke about it. I took, two big jerry cans of it back home. And before I even continue this part, I will say that I was never drinking water. I was struggling to drink water. So my body would reject water. I could never drink tap water, even if it was filtered. I would try bottles of water, and I would take a bottle and I'd probably drink a couple of zips out of it, and then I'd bring the full bottle back home.
Yeah.
So I was so dehydrated that I guess for me, coming across this water at the start, I was like, okay, I'll give it a go. But I was like, I just can't drink water, but I'll see how it goes. And when I took it home and I had, like I drank the water and I had the first glass, I was just like, wow. It was like an outer body experience. The moment I drank it, um, it's like silk. It's the texture is different, it tastes different, and I just kept drinking. Like my body kept going, give me more, give me
Wow.
more. And I just kept drinking, and we were getting near to the end of the jerry cans, and I messaged her and I said, I need this machine, and with my partner we spoke about it, and because it is an investment.
Sure.
Like it's not a water filter, it's a water ionizer. It does have a filter in it, but what it actually does is it ionizes and electrolyzes the water and splits the H2, so it becomes molecular hydrogen,
Oh, wow.
um, which have a lot of benefits. So it's known as electrolyzed reduced water. So there's a lot of like studies on molecular hydrogen and electrolyzed reduced water on PubMed. So it's worth having a look at something like that.
Okay.
But my experience once we got the machine, like I said, I've had health. I've also had a back surgery. So I was always on painkillers.
Mhm.
Um, and I obviously had a body that was dehydrated because I wasn't drinking enough water or any water, very inflamed. And I think the biggest thing was once I drank this water, the inflammation went down, the hydration went up, and no more painkillers for me. I was drinking energy drinks just to get myself through my days. Um, Stopped drinking the energy drinks. I used to put eye drops. Like, I don't use eye drops anymore.
All
And
this for dehydration, right? Eye drops for dehydration, energy drinks.
yes, because it would,
Yeah.
for energy, yeah, like the energy drinks, because I wasn't much of a coffee drinker. So I would I would get energy drinks like to get me through my afternoon. And because I would really feel that slum in the afternoon, especially. And that's what I would drink, and I wouldn't even drink water. And really, at the end of the day, for me, someone that's had a heart condition like mine, it's probably not, it wasn't a good thing to be drinking energy drinks anyway. So this water has changed a lot in my life. It's really taken me on a path of, like, it's not even just about the water, but it became such a personal development path where I then started to look at everything else around me, in health, and what else am I doing around me that's toxic, that is also adding to the inflammation, in my body that I can actually control. So yeah, I started looking at it, changing things in my home, like swapping out plastics for glass and stainless steel, getting rid of our air fryer, just with
Those
this machine as well, you can do cleaning products. So getting rid of a lot of toxic cleaning products from my house now, so not having to use like your all-purpose, your Windex, like anything that you're cleaning surfaces and glasses, like you're spraying, and there's so much toxins in that, and we're inhaling it, and
yeah.
this all equates to the inflammation in our body, and like you said, the EMFs as well, which are the not the good EMFs, and this water, it clears out, it detoxes the body continuously. And a lot of people do experience when they drink the water at the start, especially the first 2 weeks, they really experience a detoxing feeling from it.
Sure.
Like they get headaches, they get
Ah,
nausea
cleaning
even.
out. Yeah, that detox, exactly. Okay. How long have you
Yeah,
been using
yeah.
it, Seni?
So 2 years now, two and a bit
Okay.
I've had it. Yeah.
Well, and I know I've talked with you about it. I'm interested in checking it out more. I know inflammation is, well, start with stress. Stress is the cause of 95, 97% of all illness in the body, all of it. And
Yeah.
then the next step is inflammation because the body is trying to rid itself of things, I
Yeah.
was talking on a earlier podcast about depression flu because when people are depressed for too long, I mean, that fight or flight kicks in with the cortisol, the epinephrine, all of that stuff to
Yes.
help you fight and flee and not feel as much pain if you're in battle, right? But
Yeah.
humans don't realize is that we're not in battle. We're just going back and forth to work. We're just listening to too much news. But our
That's right.
body can't tell the difference. That's the thing. Like we think we're so intellectual, but on that
Yeah.
other level, and I don't mean this, I'm not bashing anyone. I'm included in that, right? We
Yes.
think
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
intellectual that we forget, oh, I haven't been feeling things for a little bit, And when you don't feel and release that stressed state or
Yeah.
traumatized state, we continue to live that way if we don't tell our bodies to turn it off. And so when you have water like that, good nutrition, you change your thought habits, to more positive
Yes.
thought habits. It decreases the inflammation, and the level of energy that results from that, you can't really describe it, because it's not like a oomph, it's not like a rush like you're used to from the energy drinks, which I too am guilty of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Less so now, but
Yeah.
not like that rush. It's just a constant state of, I got this. So you want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, let me do that. And you think more
Mm.
clearly, like everything
Yes.
seems to fall
Yeah.
into line better. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I think, and this is why I call it the water path, because it's like, it's not only just the water and drinking the water, but the path that it's taken me onto. Like, I don't think I would have been on the path I am now, or where I am now, if I didn't discover this water and then the community behind it, because that's what's led me to, a better health and
Right.
a better outlook in life as well, because I was very reactive before this. 2 years ago, I was very highly strung, very reactive,
Highly
very
Yeah, that makes
highly sensitive. And wow, I'm like, I look at myself now and I'm such a different person, and I'm so much calmer, and I know the water has a lot to do with it, but it also, where it's led me,
yeah,
and the community that I have around me, the people that are also in this business, and being around so many like-minded people that are working towards better health, because they are controlling what they can control. Because at the end of the day, we can fight the system, but you're not going to get anywhere. So you got to control what you can control yourself,
beautiful.
within yourself, and it's the changes that you make that are going to take you on that better path, and sometimes in life you have to invest into certain things and zoom out and look at that investment and say, is this worth that?
Yes.
This is going to last me 20, 25 to 30 years.
Yes.
And this water is going to do this, and this for me. And it can replace all these toxic things in my home. Like, yes, of course, it's so worth it. When you zoom out and you look at 20, 30 years of something that is going to probably
Perpetually
flip,
contributing in
flip.
a positive way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'm noticing that our time is almost up, but I want to make sure
Yeah.
our listeners also know that you specialize in empowering women 50 and over, right? And so
Yes.
if
Yeah.
someone wants to work with you, how can they get a hold of you, Seni?
So I have my Instagram page, which is where mostly my everything I post and my business is through there. Just a simple DM, and I don't have anything on automated. I'm very much like in touch with people. I'm not there yet. Like I feel like I have to connect with people straight away
Sure.
myself. I don't like to put things in automation. So very much a simple DM,
Sure.
and
Okay.
I'm always happy to, have a chat, have a call, organize a call.
Sorry, I was
Yeah,
looking to remember your hand. It's Wolf Woman Rising. That's it. Wolf
it
Woman
is. Yeah.
Rising. Right. Okay. Sorry, I wasn't trying to text. I was trying to.
No, no, you're right.
It was. So you can find Seni at wolfwoman.rising on Instagram if you want to work with her, and just send her a quick DM. And I'm going to wind things down and thank all of our viewers and listeners for spending time with us here. And I would love to chat with you again, Cindy. I know we've
Yeah,
just scratched the tip. I don't even know if we're
yeah,
at the tip of the iceberg. It's like we might have just
yeah,
been, oh, there it is. Let's go find out more. So I definitely
yeah,
would love to have you back on. And until next time, thank you for watching
yeah.
this episode of Emozen in the Wild.